This murder case may have easily gone cold and unsolved, but who knew that a person seeking justice could do so beyond the grave? Teresita Basa was born in the Philippines on 1929. In the 1960s, Teresita moved to the United States to study music. As a quiet and unassuming person, she was said to have led an average life, living solo in an apartment and working as a respiratory therapist for the Edgewater Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. On February 21, 1977, around 8 p.m., firefighters responded to a fire at Basa's apartment, and inside they stumbled upon a horrific sight. It was a lifeless Teresita Basa on her bed, naked and with a butcher knife buried on her chest. Her body was found under a mattress and piles of clothes that were set on fire. Investigators believed that the fire was meant to cover up the murder, and that because of the state she was found in, they believed that she may have been a victim of sexual assault. However, the autopsy revealed that she had not been raped. Who could have done such a horrific act to Teresita? After all, she had no known enemies and was generally seen as a nice person. In the Edgewater Hospital, Teresita worked together with another Filipina, the 38-year-old Remibias Remy Chua. 2 weeks after Teresita's murder, Remy was having a conversation with one of her colleagues, who expressed how sad it was that Teresita couldn't tell anyone about who her murderer was. Remy reportedly declared that Teresita could tell her in a dream, and that she would not be afraid to help her. Later that day, Remy was on a break and was trying to take a nap at the locker room when suddenly she felt a presence in front of her. She opened her eyes and there she was, Teresita Basa, standing in front of her. Horrified, she screamed and ran out of the locker room. A few days later, Remy was at home together with her husband Jose, who was a doctor. Remy was then sleeping, while her husband was on the phone talking to an attorney named Al. Upon saying Al, his wife, who was still asleep, suddenly screamed. She then went into some kind of trance and told Jose that she was Teresita Basa and that she needed his help. He asked her what she wanted, and she told him that a man had entered her apartment and killed her. She pleaded with him to tell the police. After that, Remy woke up with no recollection of what just happened. The couple, however, did nothing about it. After all, they had no evidence to present to the police, and they didn't want to seem foolish. But weeks later, Remy went into another trance. It was the voice of Teresita again, and she was confronting Jose why he had not told the police. He told her that he had no proof, and this time, Teresita named her killer. She said it was Allan Showery. Showery was an orderly at the same hospital that Teresita and Remy worked at. In the trance, Teresita revealed that Showery had come to her home to help her fix her television set. She said that shortly after arriving, Showery assaulted her, stabbed her with a knife and attempted to burn her body, and even stole some of her jewelry before leaving the scene of the crime. She even went to reveal that Showery gave her jewelry to his pregnant girlfriend. At this point, Jose and Remy Chua were convinced enough to present the information to the authorities. Initially, the police were hesitant, but they went on to question Allan Showery anyways. And just when it seemed like it would go nowhere, the police found items of jewelry, particularly a pearl ring and a jade pendant, among his girlfriend's possessions. Friends and family members of Teresita confirmed that these indeed belonged to the victim. His girlfriend then told police that Showery had given these to her as a gift. Police confronted Showery with this information, and incredibly, he confessed to what he had done. Showery knew Teresita from work, and knowing he had been struggling financially, she had always tipped him generously for helping her with errands and other tasks. He admitted going to visit Teresita the night of her death, assaulting her, taking off her clothes to make it look like a sexual assault, and taking her jewelry before igniting the fire and escaping. Because of this, he was arrested and put to trial. However, despite this confession, Allan Showery pleaded not guilty to Teresita's murder. When a mistrial occurred, he decided to plead guilty on February 23, 1979, receiving only a 14-year sentence for the cold-blooded crime. He was released on parole in 1983. Despite the case being solved, there are still questionable and mysterious matters to be settled. First off, it was assumed that Remy Chua and Allan Showery, who both worked at the same hospital, didn't like each other, as Showery often complained about the quality of Chua's work. Furthermore, it should be noted that Remy Chua's psychic episodes started hours after being told that she had just lost her job. Some people also speculate that Remy had somehow overheard about Allan killing Teresita, but because she might have been afraid of Showery, she did not know how to tell the police without posing a risk to herself, resorting instead to a supernatural experience. Strange as it may seem, the circumstances of the story, it really does seem as if there is life after death.